Hiya, hiya. It's Joey Reynolds, Bird's Eye Witness News. And I want to report to you that I watched the Masters yesterday. Yes, Master. There were two black guys in the Masters tournament. Wow, that's amazing. Next, they're going to want to swim and host game shows and maybe be hosts on TV for something else. I don't know. You just, where's the brothers? Where's Spike Lee when you need him? I was glad to see Tiger make a comeback because that means there's hope for people like me. Because, we never left. That's the problem. We didn't leave, but it looks like a comeback because we weren't where we belong when everybody left us where we were. Does that sound right? I went back to Buffalo to see where my entire childhood went, and it was, they still were in the bar and at the bowling alley. Same place I left them, bronzed. It doesn't change too much. The news is just not good to watch because there's always bad news. I think the best thing was the sports. It was the Masters tournament over at the Archie Bunker Country Club in Georgia. No, seriously, we're going to go to the Trump Mouth Open is where we're going. I think somewhere along the line, the Pope, this Pope Benedict, I think he wants to make a comeback now that he saw Tiger. He's sticking his head out again, saying that he doesn't put Pope Francis down, but he's like Bob Barker with The Price is Right. Drew Carey looks behind him, and Bob's still there. And this Pope Benedict boy, he hangs on. He's got some sort of a wish that we would clean it up because after the sexual revolution, everybody got crazy, and that's when this all began, according to him. I think it began with Adam and Eve. I think murder began with Cain and Abel, but that's biblical stuff. If you believe in the Bible, some people think that that's a fairy tale. I have a friend who is an atheist, and I told him that I had Marilyn Murray O'Hare, who was a world famous atheist. I had her on my show one night in Denver, and she sneezed, and I said, I don't know who we're going to get to bless you. She walked off the set, of course. But this religious stuff is good. It's humanism. I learned yesterday at church that we have less than the attention span of a goldfish, which has 8 seconds. Do you realize that? Americans have less of a shorter attention span. You probably left me 2 minutes ago on this thing. But that's the way it is. If we don't pique your interest, you're gone. You just click us off and we're done. That's the way radio and television. Well, when it was across the room, you didn't go and turn the TV set off because it was too much of an effort. Plus, you make everybody else in the house mad. And it was in the car. You kind of like you left it on, hoping that it would change, and you push the button if you got really annoyed. But none of that anymore. Now everything is a download. We're all loaded down is what we're doing with information, and short attention span and too much information is no good. There's some things I wish I didn't know about. I didn't know that I was going to live this long. I wasn't planning on it. I was planning on an earlier departure. You just don't know. I decided I was going to get cremated, and then the kids stopped me from that because it costs more. Now you can go in that pine box for a lot less. And listen, when nobody wants to talk about death. We all get very nervous about it because it's inevitable. And we don't like the end zone. We want to talk about the beginning, always about the beginning and what we could change. Now, speaking of that Pope who says that we had a sexual revival in the 60s, or rather, he didn't say revival, he said we had a sexual revolution in the 60s. I think it happened actually with the English when they came here. They were pilgrims, and they wanted to get away from the routine in London, or you get beheaded, and here they were a little bit freer. That's because, the Indians didn't screw around too much, Why didn't the priests screw around with nuns? How come they didn't do that? I was just thinking, out of the box, of course, my mind is always going in a lot of different directions. That's how I keep you interested in my storytelling. I'm like Uncle Remus in the Song of the South. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a bedtime story. But it's only noon. Well, we're in Florida. Let me tell you in about an hour. Oh boy, we don't have too much to go on today. It's a slow news day. It was so slow that WINS, the all-news station in New York, played records again. That's how slow it was. Now, we don't have too much of a society on the weekends where people act out. But back on Monday, they're in full gear. Tomorrow, this thing will be the longest rap I've ever done in my life because everybody's going to start doing something. Did I tell you where that Masters tournament was played at the Archie? Did I tell you that the Archie Bunker clubhouse? No. I can't wait for the Trump Open. That's my favorite thing. And is Cher really back? How many lifts has she had? She's had more lifts than the Skyway over in San Jacinto Mountain. You know, I mean, how do you have this kind of a face at my age? What is she doing? Cher, you know, thanks for sharing. You know, you get so tight you can't sing the song anymore. I think she's doing real well though, and the shows on Broadway is about her and her background. So we're down to reviewing everybody's lives, and mine included, of course, me and my pet. Here's my pet. This is Fanny. Well, this is Fanny. Her. We found out this is a girl. So I have to be a little bit more careful because, you know, women are in. Look at her. She's doing my nails. I love that. Hey, you're blocking the audience. The two of them that are out there. You notice nobody really hits on me? It's the Joey Reynolds rap.